Good afternoon. I am bringing you some blogging basics, and it's only going to take us about 20 minutes, so I hope you'll be able to stick with us. My name is Reggie LaBerge. I am a retired writing and publishing professional with over 20 years of experience, and I've been working with UW-Milwaukee's continuing education program for going on 6 years, talking about every genre, level, and niche area of writing, publishing, marketing, and entrepreneurship. And as we are in the midst of our quarantine time, UW-Milwaukee wanted to bring you guys some special lessons that a lot of people are digging into for the first time because they have that time at home. One of those areas is all about blogging because it's easy to do a blog. It feels like something that's kind of a little bit non-threatening to get into, but there are a few things that you want to keep in mind. So I'm going to be bringing you the 3 reasons that you might be digging into a blog. I'm going to be talking about the 3 things that you want present in the content of your blog, and I'm going to talk to you about 3 know-hows that are going to help you get your words out there in the world. So let's get into that first area. Bloggers are really going to fall into one of 3 categories. The first one is a journaler. Now, a journaler does not necessarily mean Dear Diary, but it's anybody who wants to keep a record of your thoughts. Now, those records have a couple of different intended audiences. One of them is legacy. So if you have important thoughts that you want to keep for when your own children are grown, or you have grandchildren one day, or something that's some kind of a family record, that's going to be your thoughts that you're keeping, that you're going to be able to keep that record of. You're going to put them out in the world. You're going to save them as well on your own. That's one of your categories under journaler. Another place under journaler is anytime that you have an opinion piece. So this is any topic that really gets you hot under the collar, something that you feel passionate about. So a lot of times you will see people that are sharing their opinion pieces. Really, it's just an open journal. It's going to be on politics. It's going to be on, maybe it's on the environment. Maybe it's on any kind of a specific issue. Maybe it's a religious topic. Anytime that you're feeling that passion, that is something that you can have an opinion piece on. And just like legacy pieces, it really falls under that journaler style of blogging. The second area that you want to see people blogging in often is going to be in your entrepreneurial world. So entrepreneurs. Now, when people think entrepreneurs, they only tend to think of small business. Yes, that's true. You're going to maybe put blogs in the world because you are an expert in a specific small business area. And absolutely, that's one of those types of entrepreneurial bloggers. However, it also works for any kind of a cause, message, or nonprofit. So, anytime that you are trying to grow your platform using your message, that falls into that entrepreneurial category of blogging. It means that you are actually just trying to grow your audience and draw people to you who have like mind. It may be that they need your product or service. It may be that they could support your cause, message, or nonprofit. So those are the other categories. They aren't necessarily just a financial small business entrepreneur. It's anybody who's trying to grow a platform, grow an audience. And that might be for that product. It might also be for your cause. And the last category that you have of your bloggers are going to be your actual writers. And I don't mean actual writers like these people are not writers. I mean that people who identify as writers. They are our practitioners. Our practitioners because they are practicing the art of writing. So if you're practicing the art of writing, this blog is a great place for you to do that. You can create, the thing about your content, you can create anything you want if you're a writing practitioner. You're going to probably want to create things around writing itself. So this might be stuff that's grammatical, it might be stuff that's more on the creative aspect, but you're also going to create maybe some of your storylines. You might also just write something because you're like, I need to write right now and I need to practice my writing in this moment. So that might mean that I'm waking up and I'm really focused on motherhood today. I might write about motherhood, even though I'm talking about the art of writing, just because of the fact that maybe that is going to become a character one day. So anytime that you're a practitioner of writing through your blogs, that's something that those materials could eventually become part of books or plays or other things that you're creating, or it could just be practice. And so these are your three categories of bloggers: your journaler, your entrepreneur, again, your lifestyle bloggers, by the way, they're going to fall under that entrepreneur category as well, or your practitioner. Now, let's move on to the three pieces of content that you need in your blogs. So we've talked about the three types of bloggers: your journaler, your entrepreneur, and your practitioner. I like teaching in sets of three, so let's talk about the three pieces of content that you should have in every blog that you create. The first one is going to be all about them. Who is your audience? So I want you to reach out to them with sort of a, have you ever, or did you experience this? You want your audience to be who you're talking to. If every article that you start, if every blog you start starts with you, you will lose readers quickly because they're not that interested in you. They're interested in how you are similar to them. So get to that audience first. Think about who it is that you are trying to reach. So in the case of that journaler, it might be really personal. You might open up with something that's like, hey, during this time in my life, you might not realize that the entire world was under an unprecedented shutdown order, and it was not unlike anything. It was not like anything that the modern world had currently seen. You might want to start with something very personal, but you're talking very conversationally to them. So that's a different place for those journaling bloggers. If you are a business blogger, you want to highlight what is their need. Or, as they often say in the business world, identify their pain. In other words, let's say I'm selling fast printers. I might say, have you ever been rushing out to class last minute and you're sitting there waiting for your 30-page report to print before you can go, and that's the only thing holding you up? I'm going to identify that pain because I'm about to go into why this printer is important. I'm going to blog about it. That's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to make it personal. We don't want our blogs to just be ads, but I'm still reaching my audience. If I'm talking about a cause, let's say that cause is environmental and I'm trying to draw people to the desire for cleaning up their environment. I might say, have you ever been on a walk in the fall and you can just smell that crisp, clean air? And then I might say, what about the times that you've been out on a lake in the summer? I might start identifying things. I'm asking them. I'm getting to who my audience is, and I'm going to start with them, not me. Because me, I'm that second step. Then it's you. And you want to get authentic. So we go from audience to authenticity. So I might start with, let's go back to our person who's a cause, somebody who is one of our entrepreneurial bloggers. Let's say I'm starting with them. Hey, have you ever done this? And you're identifying that environmental situation when they're out walking. And then I'm going to get to me. This last week, I was walking with my best friend on a trail, and I couldn't believe how much noise pollution there was around us that was really taking us out of the moment. And so I'm really going to identify that moment. I'm going to then start talking about, how that moment felt, the different senses that I'm experiencing. We're going to talk about that a little bit more when we get into some of those other breakdowns of the format in the next how-to. But I'm really going to want to get authentic with them. So I'm going to start with them. I'm going to go to you, and then we're going to kind of have sort of a solution type of thing. Now that solution, from a business perspective, is going to be bringing the product or service. That solution, from a legacy perspective, when I'm journaling, that solution is going to be, what did I learn? What did I glean from that experience? That solution, from our practitioner perspective, might be just in continuing to share a story. It might be in showing an example that you're creating here. You're going to basically write that solution in your practitioner way as a writer would. You're going to bring your blog full circle just as you would with a story. So our blogging basics, we talked about our 3 types of bloggers. Now we have our 3 pieces of content, and we're going to talk about how those contents are formatted in the technical know-how. But those 3 pieces of content, if you do every blog from them to you into the solution, and that solution, by the way, should serve actually to connect all of these elements so that you're going to kind of build a little bit of audience loyalty. You want your audience to see themselves in you through whatever solution your blog has come to. Now, let's talk about the 3 know-hows. Last but not least, I want to talk about your know-hows. There is a huge amount of information in the know-hows, and so I'm going to give you, again, the very basics as we're talking about basics. The 3 things are how to get it out there, how to format it, and how you are actually going to share it to your audience. So first, there's the how to get it out there. So really, you want to find a platform, excuse my marker, really, you want to find a platform for your blog. Honestly, don't reinvent the wheel. You don't have to spend a fortune. Start out with the free things, and then as you really get into it, feel free to dig further and see what other paid-for platforms are available. Wix.com has a really great platform. WordPress has a decent platform. And even if just you have a website already, you can go through your iPage, you can go through GoDaddy. Usually they have plugins that will actually serve as your blog. So I'm just going to say your built-in web plugins. So especially for those of you who are in the entrepreneurial category of blogger, you're going to be able to use some of those plugins that are available to you. All you have to do, most of these sites, you can just drag and drop. It's not much different than formatting your own Word documents. They have made these so user-friendly. Don't reinvent the wheel. And if even these feel overwhelming to you, I say do not let technology get in the way of creativity. Start on Facebook. I don't care. You can do Facebook notes, and you can do big, huge notes that you do at a time. Start it as a business page or a personality page. It does not get any easier than that. So that is the very, very simple of how to actually get it out there. It's going to be on your platform. So don't reinvent the wheel, use the platforms that already exist. The next thing is the how to format. So there are only a few things that you really need to remember with formatting your blog. One is the word count. I want to say that you really want to keep this at 750 words maximum. So those of you who are practitioners of writing, This is going to be the hardest thing for you. You do not want to go on and on and on. And if you don't believe me, go through and read some of your favorite blogs. When do you stop reading? When do you get bored? When do you click back? You are going to find it's well before sometimes 750. I try to keep my blogs within 500. Honestly, could you go up to 1,000? It's going to really depend on how loyal your audience is and how big your audience is. And therefore, you don't want to necessarily go to those higher word counts until you've been doing this for a very long time. If you're just getting started, really look at that 750 words max. Most of you are catching this video on the Reggie LaBerge YouTube channel. I would suggest to you, if you want to know a little bit more about how to crunch your words and make big thoughts in small quantities of words, go ahead and check out my word crunching lesson. It's absolutely free. It's right on this YouTube channel. Again, the lesson is called Word Crunching. I give you I give you 4 don'ts and I give you 6 do's for how to make a lot of thought go into a low count of words. So word crunching, check that out. Format, first thing is 750 words. The second thing is you want to be a little bit more casual. Even our practitioners, unless you're sharing an actual formatted story, you do not want to be extremely formal. It's okay, and you won't hear this editor say such a thing very often, but it's okay to tweak away from grammar just a little bit in order to have a conversational tone with your audience. So you want to be a little bit more casual. You want to be at 750 words max. And the other thing is you want to have small chunks. Now, when we talked about the 3 content pieces that you need, all of us who have started writing in the essay world when we were in like elementary school, some of us have held on to that idea of how to format our writing. And so you might look at this and you might go, that's 3 paragraphs. And honestly, grammatically, it might be, but it's okay because we're going a little bit more casual. When you're writing a blog, in order to keep your audience interested, you want to mix in bullet points, you want to mix in indents, you want to have maybe paragraphs of only 1 or 2 sentences, you might do a chunk next to a picture. Whatever it is, you want to take that content and make all of those words, those 750 words, should not look like a giant block of 750 words of text. Mix it up, make into small chunks, mix in some medium, whatever it is, you want to make it so that it's visually appealing and visually short for the short attention spans of your average blog reader. So those are your how to format. And the last how to I have you is how to inform people about your blog. And once again, I'm going to tell you not to reinvent the wheel. There are 2 basic ways that you're going to be able to reach out to your audience. You're going to do so through, sorry that green wasn't very good, you're going to do so through your email list and through your social media, sharing a link to your blog. Now, there are some rules around how you can get those email subscribers. Go ahead, whatever platform you're on, read what their privacy settings are, but it's pretty easy. If you're only starting with a dozen friends and family, start with a dozen friends and family. You will build, because the more often you write, the more consistently you write, the more followers you're going to get. So I'm going to recap this for you. Our blogging basic, there are 3 basic types of bloggers. You've got your journalers, who are really people that are either sharing an opinion or trying to build a legacy. You've got your entrepreneurs, which yes, includes small business, but it also includes people who are lifestyle blogs. It includes people who have a cause, a message, or a nonprofit. And then your practitioners. Those are people who are practicing the art of writing. So that means that there is no rule about what you can and cannot write about. You are just practicing your skill of writing. You can do that by just going in and writing, or you can do that by actually creating the sort of writing that you're eventually planning to put out in your books, your plays, your screenplays, and so on. You are going to build every blog you make with a 3-part content system. First, reach out to them, your audience, then reveal something personal about you being authentic, and then tie them together through a solution that's going to be the answer on how you and your audience are on the same page together. And last, the 3 how-tos of getting your words, your blog out there. First, pick a platform that's already built, either the built-in one from your web page if you already have a website, or I recommend Wix and WordPress as very simple user-friendly platforms. To format it, make sure you're at 750 maximum words. You want a more casual conversational tone with your audience and build it in small chunks so that it is visually appealing. And to inform people of when and where they can read your blog, use the tools you have at hand, your email list, as well as all of your social media. That means Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever it is that you are already using. Don't reinvent the wheel. The last thing I want to leave you with is that while all of us are in quarantine, there are so many people out there telling you, you need to do this. You need to check off that bucket list item. You need to be writing your novel right now. All of those things. I am wishing and hoping and praying that that can happen for many of you. But the truth is, all you really have to do is get through. This is an unprecedented time for our entire world. So do not put the pressure on yourself. Pressure is only going to stifle the creativity within you. So just get through, and I sure hope that on the other side of this, I get to see you in person. Until then, stay home, stay healthy, and stay in tune with what lights up your creativity. Be well.